Let's talk about pay packages. On this episode, I welcome back Lindsey Martin, Team Manager here at Atlas, and we're going to talk all about what your pay package looks like or should look like. This is Atlas All Access. Linz, welcome back.
Thanks.
All
I always
right.
love being here.
So we've talked about this for a little while.
Yep.
You and I have talked about doing this for a little while. It went through a couple different iterations, and I think we finally landed on what's most important here. And I want to thank her team, too. She has engaged her team of recruiters to really kind of flesh out when they're talking to a traveler, what is most important to that traveler, or maybe what the recruiter believes should be most important as we stand right now in 2025.
We, especially here at Atlas, especially on my team, especially with my team when we talk, we like to talk about education. I really push that your travelers should know as much as possible. Venture to say as much as you do about pay. It's very transparent. We know what's going on. You know, I want them to be the most educated person on their unit. So when something comes up, something doesn't quite make sense, they understand why.
Exactly. More information. Information's power to them. The more information, the better.
Yes.
All right. So we've got 3 topics here to talk about. The first one, let's talk about this because this comes up a lot. When a recruiter is pitching a pay package or a traveler is asking for a pay package,
Right.
You've got 2 very different options: maxed out stipends and low hourly pay, or lower stipends and high hourly pay. Let's talk about the pros and cons of each of those.
I love it. Generally, why a lot of people get into traveling is because the stipends are non-taxable, and that's where you're going to bring home the most money. So in order to get the highest stipend, you have to get the lowest hourly pay. That is within reason. We still have to pay you a reasonable wage. Generally, I will say generally, because we can go a little bit lower, we can go a little bit higher. It's about $20 an hour. $20 an hour seems to be that magic number that, you know, our magic government likes, as well as our travelers are understanding. But what a lot of people don't understand is when they say, especially new travelers, when they're coming from their staff job, well, I was making $40, $50, $60 an hour.
Exactly.
How is this fair? I'm making less. But when you look at the stipends that are non-taxed and you factor that into your whole weekly pay, you will see that you are actually taking home more money because those stipends, non-taxed, make up what is your housing, which is your per diem. Sometimes travel is in there as well. You're not getting taxed on those. And people don't quite at a glance understand that.
Well, and you have to walk a fine line because there is such a thing called wage recharacterization in our industry where you can't take the non-tax and mix it with the taxable to give like a hourly rate or what. You could. I mean, it's a thing, but generally you'd want to stay away from something like that.
Right.
So let's talk about then a higher hourly rate with a lower stipend. Why would you opt for something like that?
It's not as common as you'd think, but a lot of people, based on what their tax professional might say, based on what their friends, family might say, sometimes it is a better case individually for you to have a higher hourly. One of the key reasons is if somebody, and this is not always the case, wants to buy a house. You know, you want to show what kind of money you're making. So putting a higher hourly wage is going to help you show how much money you're making on your taxes because those stipends, non-taxed,
They don't,
not going on your, you know, tax documents and things like that. There are some other reasons we've run across people who are in the military or retired only can make a certain amount of money. So they're looking to take more hourly than stipends and things like that.
Sure.
But it's really a case by case, and your recruiter will 100% work with you to find out what's best for you. Again, higher hourly, rarer.
But it can happen.
It happens. It
And
happens.
you, the recruiter, or you, the traveler, have that flexibility within our pay package and how we configure that with your recruiter to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're here to help you.
There we go.
That's really what it is. We are here to help you find what you want and make it work for you.
Number 2, gross pay. And I want to talk about specifically like GSA rates and how they change. So we're gonna still talk about stipends, but we're gonna talk about how stipends can change, because I know this used to be a really big topic back in the day when I was client manager, recruiter before that. Like that was a big topic, and I don't know if we've really talked about it as much recently. So why would it change?
The GSA is set by the government. Let me say that. It's not set by Atlas. It's
Correct.
not set by any other agency. It's not set by the industry. The government has a GSA set for you for how much you can get in non-tax stipends. And it's actually broken down, if you go on the GSA website, by day, not by week.
GSA.gov.
Correct.
Yep.
GSA.gov. So it might be a little confusing. You have to take that number and multiply it by 7 to get the number. What we want to do is we want to max out your stipends. We want to give you as much non-taxable money, as much take-home money as possible. But that has to depend on how much we have to play with. I like to kind of explain it as a pie when I, give examples to my team. And my team subsequently gives examples to their travelers and things like that. We can make those pie pieces as big or as small as possible, which is exactly what we were talking about in the last question. But the GSA has a max amount that we can give you, and that changes. So let's take, I just had a recruiter that just placed somebody in Nantucket Island. Nantucket, if you're not familiar geographically, is where, you might know this a little bit better, the Hamptons are. Very big destination location every summer for people in the Northeast.
Sure.
What the government has decided, because of the popularity of that area seasonally, is that the stipends in the summer and the cost of living in the summer there is going to go up. So they're going to give you more money in the GSA in the summer. But if you cross over into those fall and winter months, the GSA, not a big popular hot spot in the winter, the GSA is going to go down. We, as your company, as your recruiters, have to play with that to try and get you the most stipends possible, make that hourly appropriate. And in the summer in Nantucket, it's going to go way up.
Yep.
In the winter, it's going to probably go way down.
What happens if it crosses over? So let's say you start now in Nantucket and then you extend and you're there in June or July. What happens?
What we can do is we can reallocate, like shift that money around. Kind of like I said, that pie. You can make the stipend piece bigger. You want a big piece of pie in the summer because you maybe have some room there. I'm trying to think like Thanksgiving season, like trying to make an analogy in my head. But in the winter months, it's just going to get smaller. So when your GSA stipend money gets bigger, your hourly gets a little bit smaller, as small as we can make it.
Sure.
Now, sometimes there's so much money in a pay package, which is what we all wish for.
Of course. Yep.
Happened a lot in the previous years.
Yes.
That we had max out your stipends, take all the GSA money they're going to give us, and we're still having to pay you significantly more than $20 an hour. Sometimes 22, 23, 25, 30.
The benefit of higher bill rates.
The benefit of higher bill rate. And it's not always the summer. I just want to make that. So if you think
Sure.
about Colorado, you think about destination winter locations that people love to go to ski or things like that. Those are times that it's going to flip where you're going to get
change.
higher stipend, higher GSA in the winter than you do in the summer.
So to wrap this one up, in the end, what you're saying is you extend, you can change that pay package. You can change it. Recruiter can change it, right? You guys agree on what you need or what you want, you, the traveler, and recruiter can help you with that.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Perfect.
what we're here for.
All right, this is going to be a fun one because you use this analogy a lot. Number 3, it's called the meat question.
Yes.
Not MEET, MEAT. Talk to me. Tell me what the meat question is.
So a lot of times when we get newer recruiters, you kind of want to explain value. You know what I mean? And every pay package is different. And you want to explain how you can be competitive and not always be the best, not always be the worst, but still provide your own value. So my question to my recruiters when I ask them, and a lot of them parlay this question onto their travelers, is where do you buy your meat? You're going to barbecue this weekend. Maybe the weather's nice. Maybe you're in Nantucket over the summer, right?
This sounds awesome.
Where are you buying your meat? Whether it's meat, whether it's fish, whether it's something that, you're going to the grocery store that you want something that is good, affordable, reliable, something that you trust. Where are you buying it?
Where am I buying it?
Well, of course, you have to answer the question.
Okay, I'm answering the question. I buy it at Costco. I'm a Costco guy, and I do it for a number of reasons. And I trust Costco.
Yep.
Their prices are right.
Yep.
And I know it's a good value.
I love it.
Now,
I love it.
sometimes it's higher, right? But I know what I'm getting, and I'm okay with that. Sometimes it is lower. Bonus, that's even better. If you have never shopped for wine at Costco, that's a whole different conversation there. There's very, very good wine at very affordable prices. That's why I shop there.
I love it. And you get a variety of questions based on where people live. People go to the grocery store. People go to, Walmart or Target. People go to the butcher, normal place.
Sure.
Right? If we're talking fish, you might go to the seafood market. If we're talking that as your meat that you're going to buy.
Sure.
My follow-up question that always stumps everybody is, why aren't you going to the dollar store? Nothing wrong with the dollar store. Buy lots of things at the dollar store. Lots of great things.
There's lots of value at the dollar store.
But why are you not buying your meat or fish at the dollar store in general?
If you've never had a Dollar Tree ribeye, they sell them for $3 a piece frozen. They're not great. This is why, right?
And that's
why. It makes a lot of sense.
You want to buy your meat, fish, really any product from any product that could make you sick if you don't have the right thing, right?
Yeah,
Let's classify that. You want to buy it from someplace you trust. And you want to buy it from someplace that is going to give you good value for a good product. And I think that is important that our recruiters, our industry understand. It doesn't have to be, the highest pay package or the lowest price on the meat. It also doesn't have to go the opposite direction.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have to find someplace, somebody that you trust that's going to, like we talked about earlier, education is power, educate you on all the things you need to know that are important for this job, which early on really does incorporate a huge chunk of that is pay.
I will always believe that the value that a recruiter brings to the relationship is key. It is such a symbiotic relationship, and you find the right recruiter, and you are going to have a fantastic career in travel healthcare. I believe that. I always have, and this is almost 21 years now of me doing this. So
I have a couple less years, but we are on the same page. Same page for that.
All right, so I've got 3 quick hits here because you talked to your recruiters, and this was some of their feedback on what we're going to talk about here. So just really quick, just a couple sentences, how you feel about these things. So pay packages posted at 12 weeks versus 13 weeks, because that's a thing. And I almost think we could talk about this longer, but why would you do that? Why would a company post a pay package at 12 weeks and make it look higher than at 13 weeks, which is actually what you're going to work?
Well, a lot of our travelers are going in, they're starting their first day, and it's going to be a 13-week assignment. But a lot of times those hospitals won't pay us for those orientation days, full week even.
Correct.
So if we're not getting money, some companies just choose to shorten it. That first week doesn't count. You're only getting 12 weeks to pay.
Yep.
We at Atlas believe we want to pay you from the day you get there. So we stretch over what we are getting paid over those 13 weeks. So you're getting a paycheck every single week that you work.
Correct.
So it's super important to us to make sure that we are valuing your time and we're making that a priority to get you that money. But it does look a little bit nicer on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
12 weeks because you're getting a little bit more money each week, but you're not getting paid.
It's not spread out as much.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, next one. Why is it important to have a profile done just as quick as you possibly can? If you're serious about traveling, why is making sure your profile is done and polished and ready to go just as quick as possible?
Love it. Great question. So we have so many people, rightfully so, I'm not sure I want to build a profile until you guys have the job I want. Well, I can very, very within a small degree of complete certainty tell you if we get the job you want, if you don't have a fully built profile, you're not getting it. The speed to market right now, especially for some of those higher paying jobs, desirable locations, something that you really want, they're going to go quick. And people who have their profile ready and we can submit within seconds, minutes, really, it's going to be the first that manager is going to be able to look at.
Yep.
And I kind of explain it when a manager, if we kind of visualize it, gets a stack of everybody in the stack is somebody that is qualified to take the job. Their skills checklist looks good. The references look good. Is your manager, really think about it, do they have the time to look through 50 resumes to find that diamond in the rough?
Are they going to the bottom?
Or are they looking at those first 2, 3, maybe 5, calling them, see who answers the phone, and interviewing those 5 people? That's what they're going to do. So speed to market is key. So making sure, yes, that perfect job, that unicorn job isn't there yet, but making sure you have the profile for when it is there and ready to go is so important. Again, it can sit there for week, 2
Oh,
weeks,
sure.
month, even 2-3 months. It can just sit there and wait.
But you have to be ready for the opportunity.
You have to be ready for when opportunity strikes.
Perfect. All right, the very last one, sick time.
Sick time.
There are some states that allow for sick time,
Yes.
right? For temporary employees, for contract labor. There are some states that absolutely do not. When you log into, you're looking at your pay in Paycom right now, you may see sick time there. What are the differences? Like, what do you need to look for?
That's a great question, and that's why it's so important you have a recruiter that you trust. Different states have different sick time policies. It's all over the board. Yeah. Some of them, the day you start, you accrue sick time and you can use it. A lot of places, if you're accruing sick time, you can't use it until you've been there 90 days. If you do the math, that's about the length of your whole first assignment.
That's it, yes.
You know, unless you extend, you don't have sick time available to you.
Even though it accrues.
Yes. You know, there are some places that don't have sick time. We don't pay into it. And there are a variety of reasons that if you extend, you might be able to use it. If you leave you take a little bit of time off in between assignments and you come back, it might still be there. It might not.
Yep.
That's why you have to have a great payroll, a great accounting department like we do, and a recruiter that can really dive in and make sure they understand how that works and explain it to you. So you get the best opportunity to use it or understand why you can't.
Perfect. Lindsey, thank you so much. Thank you to your team, too. I know they really participated in this. I would love to have them in here. Unfortunately, they're all over the country. I mean, we could bring them in and get them on camera. But
they're some of my favorite people ever. So
awesome.
Anytime we can bring them in, I talk to them every day. So
fantastic. All right, Linz, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time.